Hey, folks. Welcome to. Good morning, folks. Welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. I hope everyone's doing fine. My name is Earl out of North Carolina. This is a platform designed to bring you inspiration and motivation to your day, and I hope everyone's doing well.
Gratitude.
My gratitude for the day is beautiful sunshine, but also having good friends on here that I can have conversations with to help me get me through my day.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson from West Virginia. I echo Earl's gratitude. I feel very blessed to have this platform in my life. I feel very blessed that these fine folks that are here with me have turned into a support system more than I ever realized or thought could happen. So, Earl, well said.
Absolutely. And I'm Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. And I am going to say ditto to what Jay and Earl both said. I'm grateful for these guys, and I would have never thought that we would have been such a support system for each other. But we are, right? So here we are. So today, Jay Shetty talked about support system, right? Um, like when someone important in your life is going through something big, right? How do we show up for them? And maybe you're not quite sure how to show up for them in your best way, right? Even when we are close to someone, it might not be clear how to support them. When you're searching for the right thing to say, there's usually not a right thing at all. But a lot of times we need to leave them space to let them know to let them know that we are here for them, right? That you were simply there to have a deeper conversation if it's ready for them, right? The goal is to practice active listening without any type of judgment. It's best to avoid giving unsolicited advice unless you're asked, right? I am terrible with that. We're just trying to support our loved ones and make space for them and whatever they need, right? I am one that I like to give unsolicited advice just because I'm giving them my personal, like what happened in my life. Like I might have a similar story to share, right? But sometimes they don't want that. Sometimes they just need this space to know that you're there to support them if they need it, right? Because some people, support is different, looks different for everybody. I guarantee you, all three of us have a different way that we like to be supported, then because we're all different voices. Go ahead, Earl.
Well, first off, what you just said, there's an old saying that I've heard a long time ago. It's called "Time can heal all wounds," meaning there's a time to step in when there's an event going on, whatever it is. Give the person a little bit of space when it's needed. You don't want to walk in at the wrong time. But if it takes maybe a few minutes, maybe a few hours, and perhaps it's a simple phone call, a conversation with that person, just to give them the support that they need or the advice that they need to help fill in what is needed. And I got to tell you something, Christine, that resonated with me this week very strongly. Like yesterday, I had a conversation with my good friend Jay, talking about a few things. We were on the phone for, I think, a solid 20 minutes, um, talking on the phone. But it was good to hear his voice, and I know him and I went well on the phone. But hearing that advice and just letting it out, whatever it is that's bothering us, and sharing ideas toward it can help you, and it's also a good way to get the stress off your back.
And Earl, I just want to say, like, great point, right? So to have be able to reach out with somebody, be able to reach out to somebody, right? And just
Mhm.
go through your troubles, right? But the last thing we want to do is be judged. Would you guys agree? So it's not like I'm going to, like, think about it. Like like
Right.
Jay or Earl, you picked Jay to reach out to because you knew in your heart that he's not going to judge you for whatever you're about to say, right? Are you
Exactly.
going to
And
call your best friend who judges you no matter what you say? Are you going to call them and go over this big problem that you have? Big or small, it doesn't matter, right? But you're
right,
not going to go to the friend that judges you. Would you guys agree?
correct.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yes.
This is an interesting one. My question to you, does a support system have to be verbal?
Mm-mm. I
No.
don't think
No,
so. No, because think about it. He even said in the thing, that just being there, right? Being in that space with them. Because think about it, if you lose a loved one, sometimes you may not even want to talk.
That's the thing. There's a lot for us to learn within this still yet. And, I love a support system. And, I come from a business, a car business originally that did not exist, that you were considered weak if you said, "Hey, I need a support system." You were just, that's Christine's laughing hard because I think she recognizes that right off the get-go. And that situation is unique within itself. And I'm, please don't get me wrong. I am not knocking the car industry, but there are some things that are very common threads within that industry, as no different as all industries. Okay. The one thing for me, and I wrote these notes down, and I want to bring these up just real quick because Christine, you mentioned some of these, and these are things that Jay Shetty said to us. Practice active listening. If you're there for support, active listening is very important. The person that you're trying to support wants to get their feelings out on whatever the subject may be. If you want to be a good support system, actively listen to what's being said. Then there's a follow up behind that. And I wrote this: don't give unsolicited advice while supporting. Christine, I'm 1000% like you. I will throw advice out and mudsling that son of a bitch so hard you can't see straight. But there are times that I can become very reserved, and it depends on the tone that I'm listening to with what's going on. A lot of times when you're in a support role, the other person just wants to tell you what's going on. They truly don't want advice other than they want to feel supported. And some of the best ways are to agree with them if they're agreeable. Now, if something's clearly wrong, you might state the obvious, but be very tactful in how you state it. If you're the person that's hunting for the support, that's what you want. You want someone to receive what you're saying and agree with you, because that means everybody's acknowledging the way you felt and that you had the right to feel that way. That's tough to do. There's
You
a
want to almost
young
feel valid, right?
validation. That's
Yeah,
that's that's the word I was looking for. Thank you very much. You
because
want to
that's how
feel
I feel.
validated. Yeah, right. But it's a great word because it's the truth. That is what you want. When you're feeling out and down and you reach out to a support system and that support system validates you,
It's
then
almost
you
like you can move on. It's almost like,
it,
okay,
it's permission to move on because you just got validated. It's permission to move on. And sometimes we need that. We don't realize it. We don't think in terms like that. A lot of times we just think, well, hell, I need to get over this. But man, validation sets your mind clear quicker than not getting validated.
And I think it's also important in that support system how observant they are in analyzing what is actually going on. Whether it's
Yes.
body language and tonality as well.
There's
I love
another thing
that.
that I want to go, because this crossed my mind when Jay Shetty was talking. I want to go to some examples of nonverbal support system. Let's talk about your spouse or family members for a second, because this can be the easiest and clearest way to understand. Sometimes, isn't it nice if your spouse just gets up and does something around the house that normally you would do, but doesn't ask and doesn't say anything and does not expect anything in return? There's the kicker at the end, does not expect anything in return. Because a lot of times when people do stuff, for every action, there's a reaction. A lot of times they're after something. Whatever that may be is a hidden agenda, and you feel that on the receiving side.
Kids are really good at that.
Yeah, kids are awesome at it because they're
Yes.
playing you.
Yep.
And it's funny because they think they know that they're playing you, and you know you're getting played. So you realize what to do. But your support system, when you're non-judgmental and you go out of your way and try to help someone and want nothing in return out of it, you can chalk it up and say, man, that's a hell of a support system. Doesn't matter which side you're on at that point because both of you can recognize that. And it doesn't matter the relationship. It can be a friend, it can be a family, spouse, kids. Kids kind of is a little tougher because they normally, when they do stuff, they're after something in return. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just being kids and immature and being at the age they are. So you can write that off just a little bit, but they are prime examples. That's how giving a support system but wanting something in return looks like.
Yes, for sure. So true too. Like, think about how you feel, whether you're giving the support or getting the support. Think about that feeling you get, right? It's almost like, okay, that's off my chest now. Now I can move on, right? It's almost like, oh, like,
It's amazing
no.
when we go into a stupor of some sort. I gotta find another word. Stupor just doesn't sound right. When we go into a downward spiral on something in our minds and our emotions latch on to that downward spiral, when our emotions latch on, uh, I guess Robert Kiyosaki calls it the pit of despair. Damn, it's hard by yourself to get out of it because your mind games are at its best. They are peaking. They are firing on all cylinders, telling you why this sucks.
For
That
sure.
support system, man, that's awesome, man. That's like someone throwing a rope over the edge there and just go ahead and pulling you off before you completely jump off the ledge. I mean, it's awesome.
Yes, for sure. Earl?
Listen to what you say, Jay. I mean, that I was a support system for a couple people in my past and just, trying to give out that friendly advice. But I've been actually on both sides of that. And for me, I don't mind giving that piece of advice, but I'm more guarded on the timing that I actually do it because I don't want to walk in on the wrong time when whatever the person's doing. Um, and a lot of times it's just a friendly text. I'll give that person a friendly text because if I know that person's not going to be verbal with me, it's just a quick text message. Hey, bro, I just want to give you quick advice. Just make it quick. Don't write a diary on it. Just make make it keep it simple and get right to it. I mean, I'm a straight shooter. That's my person.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
Sometimes even not advice, but hey, Christine, I hope you have a wonderful day. It can be that simple. It's something that simple can trigger a positive energy force coming to you. Hey, this person's wishing me a good day. I'll be damn, I didn't see that coming. You know,
or
you
or
do.
just something or just something simple like, hey, if you need me for anything, you know where to reach me. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One,
Sometimes it's just simple. Like it's just a simple little gesture, right? It doesn't have to be anything massive, mountain moving, anything like that. It just needs to be, yeah, you show grace, right?
I tell you, one of the things I did learn in the car business, and I hate to bring it up, but I'm going to, is towards the end of my career, I was the guy that was called in anytime there was a fire. And I don't mean literally a fire. I'm talking about service issues and things like that. A very non-happy customer. And my role was to figure out what was going on and then make a decision how to help or not help the customer. And that judgment call was left up to me. It took me a little bit. It was tough because, listen, you get practice on that often. I'm just saying that's not a once in a great blue moon. That's an often situation in most places. Okay. Anyways, it took me a little bit. I got bashed around, got my legs kicked, my shins bruised a few times out of it. But once I learned this, it was what I followed. And it was one reason that I was continued to ask to do this for so long was I found that when there was an angry customer or something, I would take them, sit them down, and I would sit and I would take a notepad and a pen and say, guys, before we get started, just so you know, I'd like to take some notes to make sure that I'm clear with everything so I can try to help you. Then I said, what I would like to do is give you the opportunity to tell me what's going on in your words so I can understand. When you're done, and I will not interrupt you, I promise that. When you're done, I just want to reiterate what I thought that I understood it to be to make sure we're on the same page. The only thing that I ask is if I give you the respect to speak and not interrupt, you do the same in return. I said that every time, and I followed through with that. I never interrupted when they disputed whatever or why they were upset, whatever it may be, whether it was a sales process, whether it was a service issue. I listened. Active listening is so important to what we do as a support system. 9 out of 10 times that person had already talked himself off of the ledge, listening to how crazy they kind of sounded once they got towards the end of it. It actually de-escalated a lot of times what was going on. Then I just reiterated what they said to make sure that we were on the same page of what the problem or issue may be, making sure that I understood. Showing that you're paying attention is part after active listening. That is important. And then I provided solutions. Guys, that's a good support system. I had to learn the hard way. Got kicked in the shins because I wanted to interrupt and say, you're crazy. No, you can't come in here at that mad. No, you're not going to whoop my ass. I mean, whatever it may be. I'm just saying, it's hard. It's hard, and it's hard not to be judgmental, but you have to be because that person's concerns are real to them. They may not
To
be
them.
real, may
That's the
not
key
be real
word.
to us,
Right.
but
But to
real
them,
to them.
right. Because it's their feeling, how they're feeling, not necessarily how we're feeling about the situation. It's how they feel, right? That's the whole meaning of all this, right? Is how does that person feel? Good point, Jay. That was really good.
Yeah, this one kind of floats on me, man. I like it. I like being a support system because it's my personality.
It definitely is your
Okay.
personality.
And because I'm a happy person by nature, so therefore I want you to be happy. And when someone's disturbed, it bothers me. And I'm one that likes to talk about it. Not everybody wants to talk about their issues. And you have to respect that. And you can't, and I'm horrible at, man, I know something's bothering you. Tell me. No, I don't want to talk to you about it. But I
Yeah.
don't think you understand. I know something's bothering you. You need to open up and tell me. And Christine, I'm actively working on that side of it because I want everybody to be happy.
Yeah. And a
Because I'm
pioneer
one.
is not going to come out and tell you what's going on.
No, they're going to tell you to piss off in a heartbeat and never think twice about you.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, because they don't want to talk about their feelings. Like it's a pioneer.
No, no, that's not that's not the thing to do. You're
Right. And
weak.
male or female, it doesn't matter. Because I
Does
am
not
the second
matter.
voice
Yeah,
pioneer and I do not want to share.
you're weak. Yeah, no, no.
I'm not saying that, but like the pioneers' voices, they just don't want, they're not willing to share as easily, right? So it's kind of like you just have to be there, right? Like just for a pioneer, we just want to know that you're there, right? We don't necessarily need to spill all the beans, right? Per
Hey,
se.
and listen, you can mix it up nonverbal cues. I'm going to take some notes. Nonverbal cues. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. And I'm still learning. Again, and this is before we got onto this platform to record, one of the comments that I made, I wish that what I've learned in the last 2 years is something that I could have known earlier in my life. Okay. But you can't really look at it that way. Really, you have to look at the silver lining and say, you know what? I'm self-developing and I'm learning on a daily basis for my future. Because you can't change that back then. So you got to let that go. And I mean, I can wish for it, right? But why put negative energy into that wish? Just take it and roll.
Absolutely. Love it. Earl?
Guys, Earl, do you have anything?
No, I'm just taking in what you said, Jay, because that was like a mic drop, and it was very timely. Especially for those who are listening. It could be a lesson learned for others. So it's
Oh,
well said.
and listen, by all means, I still suck at this, but I love learning this. This is right
Mhm,
up my alley. This is what makes me happy.
mhm.
Uh, Folks, I think it's very easy to see that we're not licensed therapists by any stretch of the imagination. But man, when we listen to Jay Shetty on the app Calm on a morning basis, he fuels us with so much information. Sometimes we get lost into what we're talking about because we realize we are trying to learn and grow ourselves. We realize what it can mean to us to recognize where we are in any situation to try to erase negative activity within our minds at a faster pace. Negativity is always going to come about. That's human nature. How can we minimize it? How can we hold ourselves accountable and pay attention for the warning triggers? That's what it is. And we'll learn every day. We'll never stop learning on that. Thank you for listening to us.
Yep. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more of this content. And we certainly hope you come back and learn some more from us. Have a great day, everyone. Peace.
Peace.
Deuces.